woke up one morning and I said, I'm not going to let anybody tell my story to my kids except me. And I hope that anybody else that feels like that comes on board.
Right there, 2921, where we started at with the Fila shop. Yeah, second and third door, that was us. Right here on Halldale Avenue in this plaza, jumping. The Fila shop, LZD Scott, J&D's exclusive custom sportswear was right there. That's what we had, 12 employees and a whole lot of money in the soda pop machine. Now, J&D's exclusive custom sportswear was started by this brother named LZD Scott Jr. Big fella. He didn't know how to sew, so his aunt showed him how to sew. And his mom was also a sewer also. He brought in his cousin, John, Big John. Queen of J&D's exclusive custom sportswear, Miss Thelma Wright. Also Arthur, women's advocate. And a very deep person of interest. My name is Scotty Spencer, just architect for today. We're going to start with you, John. This film we're going to talk about our positions in the sportswear company. Before anybody else was doing it, it was J&D's exclusive custom sportswear by way of LZD Scott Jr. So John, take us back and tell us how this whole thing transpired.
What the shop
how the shop itself got started, and what was your job in it, and then we go to Mr.
Well, how it really got started, my cousin D, he got tired of working for those people.
For the man?
Yeah, so he decided to go out on his own and opened up a clothing store. You know, which was J&D's exclusive before it became J&D's custom sportswear. And we came across some jogging suits, and they sold so fast, and got some more, and we copied them and took off from there.
Copied them, meaning you was made
the patterns, yeah, and everything,
sold them up,
and, yeah,
put them
the
together.
patterns, and also took their design from other sports for the sweatsuits that the original sweatsuits we were selling.
What year was that?
I say maybe 82, 83.
I came along being a graffiti artist and really being into the name called hip hop that wasn't even started yet. We already had that vision. God gave us that vision. The Most High God gave us that vision to go ahead and join forces with LZD Scott, Big D, at J&D's exclusive custom sportswear to start this vision off. And what we did, by way of my little brother Cliff, he turned me on to D. We was making graffiti shirts with whatever the saying was at the time, Honey Boom or the Batarang or whatever was going on at that time, whatever the saying was. We would make graffiti t-shirts or write it down your arm and leg, and it was blowed up writing, you know, same way they were doing in New York, blowing up the trains. We were blowing up clothes out here. So D liked what we were doing, and he was selling a lot of our shirts at his store. He would call me every week. You know, back then we didn't have the, you know, pagers and all that kind of stuff. We just had to call a house, call grandmama house or mama daddy house, and get the message across. So he called me and told me to come up to the shop like pretty much every week for a few weeks, and he said, how you guys doing this? I said, let me see what your operation is like. He was in a warehouse on Halldale in El Segundo, but he also had a front store on El Segundo and Normandy Avenue. So I go to the warehouse and I walk in the back, me and Cartoon walk in the back, and he said, it's a nice operation. He had about 10 workers in there, and They were doing pretty good, and they were sewing these nice things together with small writing. I said, man, you need to blow this stuff up, make it big. He said, cut a pattern. So me and Cartoon, we cut a pattern, and the first pattern we cut was a Fila pattern, because that was our most popular shirt to sell, or the most popular saying that we had on different clothes, other than your name.
I opened up a store back east, and I started having just a few things in there, and I started branching out more to the men's silk jackets and silk shirts and stuff like that. So, you know, I was able to do that to kind of stay afloat with the business, because really what I was trying to do was find a way to keep my money washed.
So that's what you was basically what you were doing.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, that was really what, you know, my whole thing was. I need to keep this going because the money's coming in so heavy and so fast.
But you kept that under the radar.
Yeah, I kept that completely under the radar. Nobody knew nothing about it.
Nothing
how I was moving.
We just started with sweatsuits. Pretty dumber with the sweatsuits. We didn't know about this other thing.
He just said, pretty dumber with the sweatsuits.
Dumber with the sweatsuits.
That was in 1986.
Yeah, that was 86.
I didn't find out who Thelma was and what she was doing until 2021.
Wow.
2-3 months ago.
Crazy.
I just found out.
I was smooth with that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I'm a female, and I saw what happened to my husband behind, really, his murder was behind doing someone a favor, trying to look out for a guy that really he shouldn't have looked out for. Giving, you know, fronting him a key of hope, and the guy not paying, the guy's on drugs, whatever. But I knew, me being a female, that I needed to be careful. Even though I had people that would look out for me, protect me, you know, make sure. It's not, you know, I always say, you don't have to win that war. You might lose that war. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to put my friends in any kind of jeopardy. And I felt, it wasn't like I was that chick that was running around letting people know what I was doing. So that's why I never told y'all anything about that in another part of my life, because it wasn't about that. You know, it was more so about survival.
The money was coming in so fast that the authorities start thinking we were dope dealers, but we weren't. We were selling dope. We were selling dope clothes. You know, my man Freeway Rick was making about 18 million, you know, a month on what he was doing. We was making that million every month. And the reason why we were making that million a month, because people from out of town were buying our stuff. And we didn't know what they were doing out of town. We just looking and seeing, all of a sudden, we got people coming bringing us $400,000 a month. Maybe one person. One person named was Thelma Wright. Check her out on the Queen Pens of the Dope Game. Thelma was a beautiful lady. We didn't know that she was single, and her husband was the big kingpin out in Philly, but she opened up a shop in LA. Thelma was a real sweet person. I mean, $400,000 a month, that made our money go up to more than $1 million a month, because we was making that on clothes.
That was, it was a good time, and it was a time when you could just make a whole bunch of money. You know what I mean?
Because money was out there.
The money was, yes, that's what I'm telling you. 88 was the 88. I don't care what you were doing, what business you in. 88, everybody was making money in 80. That was a crazy time. Whether you were working, hustling, whatever your business was, people were spending money and getting money in 88. So that was, for me, that was a really.
We had so much money, we had to hide it in the soda machine. That's where they used to hide the money, because when the shop burnt up on El Segundo, a whole bunch of money burnt up because he had it under the counter. A whole bunch of money burnt up, and he was like, man. And that situation occurred because he had got into it with a young lady, and she spit on him. And I think he didn't slap her, I think he spit on her back. But then her brother came down there and was rah-rah, and so we rah-rah back and forth. Then later on that night, the shop burnt up.
With money in the shop.
With the money in the shop under the thing. Then when we moved around the corner, I was like, cuz, you know, this is just an idea. Why don't you put that money in that soda machine and just put sodas in the thing and just say it's out of order. But that's where you keep your money at. And that's where he kept his money. So when the feds came in, they didn't get no money.
They got the suit.
They got the money. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I never knew that. But, and for real, would be no reason for me to know that that's what money.
Like we didn't know.
Yeah, right. You know, everybody had their little things going on, but you know, it was all good though. It wasn't like anybody was putting in anybody in any harm.
We made $1 million. We made $1 million off. Oh man, it was like so fast. We made $1 million. I counted it all. We had Compton store, 2 stores in LA, and we had the shop. I did where I was at.
I just remember, I told Scotty, I said, Scotty, I just remember you. I remember Scotty with the curl, because you know that the curl. He had that hair though. He would come, but he was the guy that you barely would say hello to Scotty, because Scotty had always had that look on his face like, look, I'm not from shit. I'm coming in here and do what I gotta do.
And we became so popular that a lot of the big time D-boys, which were dope dealers, they would send their crews over to us to look the part. You know, they was having so much money, they had to spend that money some kind of way, and they would just send their crews over. Some people would come by, like Bo Benny would come. I had made some money, and I said I'm gonna open up a shop in Pacoima, California, which is on Van Nuys and Glen Oaks, right in the Arco shopping center, by way of a brother named T.E. and JB. Y'all know who they are, but them brothers, like, you know, respected me, and they loved how my material was. I made them suits like with little small writing. They didn't want all that flashy stuff. They wanted small Gucci with their no name, but they wanted them pouches in the front, you know, for that thing right there, you know, hold them things. So when they seen our work was so good, and I didn't charge them in the beginning, I charged them when I bought them the suits. I actually made them because them guys were very influential in their neighborhoods. And by them being influential in their neighborhood, they say, hey man, your material's good. We want you to go down here and talk to this guy, Leroy Adams, and tell him you want to get a shop. And I opened up my first shop right there on Van Nuys and Glen Oaks in Pacoima. That shop, they call it the $1 million spot. We were making at least 200-300 sweatsuits a day, and they were all gone by the end of the day. Because people all over the United States were coming and seeing our stuff, and people that were buying them were going to their family reunions in different summers. So we had stores in Texas, Oklahoma, not our stores, but there were other people that were making money, opening up shops from Chicago, Detroit, Miami, New York. We were all over the country, all up in the Bay Area. Where Felix Mitchell was like the big man, and Lil D and them were big out there, but they had crews that wanted these too, so we were going to their areas and promoting our material, and they would buy, open up shops, and let me tell you, they start putting our stuff on album covers. You know, all in Texas. The DOC album cover had a little baby sweatsuit on his. You know, Jay Prince bought suits from us, just to name a few. But guys that was in the game would come on my shop and leave without. They or my girl come through here, make sure she get what she want, keep the change, stuff like that. Young boys were coming through, and they were getting stuff to go all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, and open up shops. So we were making so much money. I'm talking about, we was making so much money, it was crazy. We were like game changers. We were innovators. We were visionaries. We all were visionaries, and we came together as like a special forces team to get something done that we didn't even know we were doing. We were branding.
Didn't know how big.
We were branding something that. Well, this is how I'm gonna put it. We had our own designs, our own patterns. We had a name, J&D's Exclusive Custom Sportswear, and we had California Customs. But that wasn't popular like Fila, Gucci. That's what was popping. But if you look at the designs on those shirts, on these suits, you'll see they're original. They're not Fila. They're not these companies. We just use their name.
Right, just use their name. Yeah.
Most of the stuff up here, all that big writing, that was us. We did this.
Yeah, Fila never was. The only thing Fila had was the little Fila BJ patch, and then just the one little F. Yeah. That was it.
But when we were doing them suits in the back, a big Fila, or Fila going down the leg, and Gucci going down the leg, and whatever you wanted going down the leg.
Elise wasn't making suits like that. Kango never had a suit at all. We made Kango suits. Anything you can think of, Mercedes-Benz, Cadillac,
the big cars, whatever.
Datsun 210 car, whatever you had, you wanted a custom, we was making it for you.
Yeah. I think my biggest sellers back then, besides the personalized stuff for the entertainers, I think was the Fila and the Gucci. Yeah, because nobody had seen.
I was the first one to ever have a Louis Vuitton sweatsuit.
The Louis Vuitton sweatsuit.
Let's get to that, John. How did it come about?
Was it the whole Louis?
Well, what it was velour, camo velour, and then
the brown.
Yeah, the tan, the camel color.
Yes.
And my nephew worked at the airport, and back then, people, they would confiscate people's stuff when you was trying to board the plane with stuff. So they was confiscating all these bags, and they would rip them and throw them away. So my nephew had the bag, and D started buying the scrap bags from him. Real Louis Vuitton bags, he would buy them and cut them up and make the sweatsuits.
So how much were those suits going for?
$200, $250. You know what I mean? Like
imagine now if you did something like that.
Probably
now,
be $2,500 suit.
What they going for now?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially knowing that's the actual, real, authentic Louis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's, I tell people when they ask me about the bags, I'm like, look, if your bag does not have that brown burlap inside, it's not a real bag.
And then I learned too that Louis Vuitton, they never split their letters with the seams.
No, it's always
they letters. You never see it cut. You never see it cut.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't do that. And the hardware has their it's engraved in there too.
Yeah.
In the hardware.
And it has serial numbers.
Yes. Yeah. That was it was a good time, and it was a time when you could just make a whole bunch of money.
Now about J&D's exclusive custom sportswear being the eyes and the movers of the culture, we had to come up with creative ideas. At that time, the Kango hat was a really big product in Los Angeles, so we started making Kango sweatsuits down the arm and leg. We made suits like if you had a Datsun B210, a 510 Datsun, we'd make you a Datsun sweatsuit. If you lived in Hanson Hills up in the valley, we'd make you a Hanson Hills. So if you was a Raider fan, we'd make you a Raider or a Los Angeles Lakers sweatsuit, and they were all custom the way you wanted it made. And we became really popular. So at the same time, I was rolling with a group called Uncle Jam's Army, created by, rest in peace, Roger Clayton, who had a big roster of people at the time on his itinerary of doing dances all over LA. And he had a few meetings with different popular producers and record company execs on the East Coast. One of them happened to be Russell Simmons, who was over a company called Rush Management. Rush Management had different artists like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Run DMC, Houdini. You had Eric B. and Rakim, just to name a few, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And they would start coming to California to do shows with Uncle Jam's Army. And by me being a part of Uncle Jam's Army, and Roger trusted me a lot, he would ask me to go pick up the groups from the airport and take them to the hotels. Instead of me taking them to the hotels, which was right down the street, not just the hotel, but to come to his store to do autograph parties and stuff like that, I would pick up the group and I would pass the store up, pass the hotel up, and come straight to the warehouse and let these guys see what we were doing, which was custom sportswear. And they'd walk in LL like, yo, can you put LL on that and make it look like a cool package, a cool cigarette package? Run DMC, the same way they would see the stuff. But my best customer out of all those people was Grandmaster D, the DJ for Houdini. Grandmaster D would buy suits 12 at a time. And Grandmaster D, he went to New York with our suits, and he had a friend out there that used to make high-end custom clothes, and his name was Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan called me with Grandmaster D on the phone, and he appreciated our work. And we spoke for about 10 minutes, and that was it. And I never heard from him again. He never called me. I never called him. We just kept doing work, but he appreciated my work. After that, Dapper Dan started making stuff like us. High-end sportswear.
Well, the first show in California, we got to give the credit to Uncle Jam's Army.
Roger Clayton.
And they were the first to bring us out there. May he rest in peace. They were the first to bring us out there. And then later on, we picked up on these tours of Fresh Fest and everything, but Roger brought us out there first. And being out there first for the first time, and it was like, wow, we were picked up in the van. He picked us up in the van. But we went with it. We went with it, you know, because we always wanted to get to Cali. And the thing that was good about us, even though being based out of recording in London, the sound, we broke big first in Europe because we did the tour there first. So name was buzzing already. So we couldn't wait to get back to the States because by now our show was already polished. So once we got with Russell, give Russell Simmons the credit too, because Russell managed us. He had Curtis Blow, he had Run DMC, he had just about everybody. Dana Dane, you know, everybody was under that roster. And we just took off from there. Once they started that Fresh Fest, Ricky Cedric Walker got with Russell and they put it all together, and it went mainstream. Then that's when we were knocking the doors down.
The sex symbol, the rap.
Yes.
Whose idea was that?
I believe that was the magazine. One of the magazines that somebody came up
threw that on you guys. That was really
been right on. But they just felt that we were clean cut, nice looking, dressed nice, and we didn't come in there looking like we were hard rocks. We came in there looking well dressed and presentable. You know, we the type of group your mother father said, I'm not really into rap, but I like Houdini. So that made us stand out, and that's when they started calling us Sex Symbols of Rap.
Green-eyed Genie, come on, man.
The Green-eyed Genie.
Upside down on the turntables. Come on, first time you guys came to California, from my recollection, Uncle Jam's Army, because I remember Uncle Jam's Army standing out. Rest in peace, Roger, and all the other fallen soldiers that just didn't see this right here happening, like this interview right here.
Yes.
Pretty classic. Let's get into what I really came to talk to you about. The sweatsuits. The first time you're seeing those California sweatsuits, look at the pictures, and the sweatsuits have so many different designs. I put this together. This is one of my old pieces.
Fila.
What did you think when you saw the way we put together those suits?
I really felt it was incredible. It was a new look, a new style. Like the beginning, like I said, when we first went to Cali, Cali was rocking Fila suits. That's when we got that look at the Fila suits. But even though we were seeing it over in Europe, so when we saw it in Cali, when we got to Europe, everything was there. Fila was right there, big. And, you know, a lot of tennis players wore it. But not only that, Cali was the first I seen rocking Elise, Fila, and my boy, he had the Louis Vuitton.
Put the Louis
Vuitton. I had all colors. I had the green with the brown Louis. I had the beige and the brown Louis. And I mean, once I went in there and he showed me all the wares, I jumped on it. I was like, yeah, yo, give me everything. Back up. Everybody back up. Let me get mine first.
Literally, he would jump on everything, and everybody had to move back. Grandmaster D, I mean, I have so many pictures of him on stage, different interviews. He really represented, like he was a spokesman for J&D's exclusive custom sportswear, but everybody called us the Fila shop. But that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
I remember one time you were in Europe again, and you called me. I had a little telephone booth in my store. There's a payphone. He called the payphone. Hey, Scotty, I got a friend over here in London. He want to order some of these suits. I'm like, really? Hook up. Another time he called me when he went to New York. And he put me on the phone with this guy named Dapper Dan. I'm like, Dapper Dan ain't Dap. And we talked for a couple of minutes, and it was just because of him he hooked us up. But I'm going back into history. Dap was making high fashion clothes. He wasn't doing that stuff. He was making high fashion. He turned Dapper Dan on to what was happening in the streets. And we was happening in the streets way on the West Coast. But he took us to the East Coast, and he represented that wear. Look at the pictures. These pictures are talking for themselves. But like I said, the sweatsuits, we're going to bring all this it's an actual signature line that we're working on.
It was just amazing. I mean, the people that I was able to meet, the people that I was able to do business with, and then the way people would pass the word about, the word of mouth business, how I was getting stuff done, and then they started ordering T-shirts. We started making T-shirts too, the screen print T-shirts.
Silk screen.
Yeah, silk screen. Yeah, to kind of match the jacket or the suit that they wanted to wear underneath the suit or something like that. So, I mean, it was crazy. To see people back home when I would go back home and see my suits was nice.
Did you ever have a photo album like you were?
I used to have. You know what? Gerald Levert had asked me one time. He was doing a video, and he had asked me. We started dabbing with the leather because we had heard about the Dapper Dan guy out of New York. But he was dealing a lot of fur and leather and high fashion stuff.
He wasn't doing what we
sportswear, like we were doing the sweatsuits and nylon and stuff like that. And so we ended up making a black leather sweatsuit with the MCM in white in the front. The sleeves were black, pants were black, but he never did do that for. He never wore that for the video shoot or anything, but he ordered that.
So let's speak on Dapper Dan. Did you ever meet? You ever go in and buy clothes?
No, I actually never went, but I have friends that were going and they were getting the colored colored fur jackets, and Dapper was doing some amazing stuff because I had a girlfriend that had a couple of pullover mink bomber jackets. They were the pullovers that he had made. She was getting some things, but I actually never been. But I have friends that were going. A lot of friends back home, guys that was in the game, they were going to Dapper and they were getting jackets made with the bulletproof vest in the back. See, he was making some. He had a reach. And I didn't really look at him as any kind of competition to me because, like I said, his stuff was high-end, high-fashion stuff, whereas ours was more sweat, sportswear gear. Yeah.
Well, I did an interview with Grandmaster D, and he told me when he took stuff that I made for him, he went there and got this look like in amazement. Mm-hmm. And he called me on the phone, and we spoke. And only a couple of minutes conversation. He said he liked our stuff. So that was it. Mm-hmm. Until now, like he got a Gucci line. He got a Gucci line
now, yeah.
So why don't we have a exclusive line with a company like Fila?
Exactly.
Did you know we got indicted?
No, you mentioned that to me. Was you involved in that thing?
Yes.
I went to jail.
You went?
I went to jail.
What, they ran in the shop?
Tell that story.
That was before you was there.
Hello, how you doing? This is a film called How the West Was Won. We're interviewing Renee Starlett Washington Davis.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Hey, so how did you hook up with Scotty? How did you guys meet? What year?
It was in 1984 in East Oakland off of 90th and East 14th. I was at the liquor store I was in the liquor store when DJ Pooh and
Big Pete,
was inside the liquor store. And when I came out, you were trying to ask me about where can you sell the sweatsuits. You wanted to hook up on the sweatsuits. And I was telling you about some places you can go to hookup. It was right across the street, just up a block, not even full block. And you was like, well, come on and ride with me. You can get in with us. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It was a bunch of them, and I wasn't doing that. So they followed me. I was like, y'all follow me. So I walked across East 14th and 90th to Swings, and I think it was Swings and Rings.
Yes.
And I took them in there, and they met the gentleman there. And so from that point, he was impressed. And they connected, and that was a big connection for Scotty. He gave me a free sweatsuit because he said if I help him get some sales, he'll give me a free Fila sweatsuit. And he gave me my Fila sweatsuit, and I will cherish that thing faithfully. And then after that, I told him about Eastmont Mall and a place to go to there. And he went there, and of course, that was a killer spot too. And from that point, he just did extremely well in the Bay Area. And I was honored to meet Scotty, DJ Pooh, and Big Pete. Yeah. And from that day on, we were good.
Yeah, we out here in the CPT. I had to come see my one of my OG cutters, King Marcus, OG cut master for the Fila shop. Let's pull up on him and see what he's doing. What's up, King Marcus?
Hey, what's up, my nigga? Scotty D, my nigga.
What's up, baby?
Shit, nigga, all right. Just chilling.
Come up a little bit.
Living large, you know, just taking my time, thinking about the old ways and the old school, making our little, you know how we do.
Talking about them old Fila shop days?
Oh, man, it was the days right there,
what
man.
What year was that? That's like 80.
That was about 88, 87, 82.
Nah, you had to start in 84,
No,
85.
it was
You
84.
in high school.
Right when the nigga was about to graduate out of high school, I was working for the shop, you know.
How'd you get in the shop? How'd you even start? On El Segundo?
Man, I started on El Segundo, man, and hey, man, I used to fight in front of it. It was just a coincidence, but I used to fight in front of the store, and my boy D was like, nigga, you ain't fighting no more. Nigga, you gonna come work for me, nigga, bring your homework to the shop, nigga, all that, nigga. I was at the shop 24/7, nigga. I had to do everything. I learned how to cut, sew, clean, all that, nigga. I was everything for my boy D. That was my heart, man. He raised me like a son and everything.
So D took you in like I took in King T and all them guys.
Yeah, he took me in. He put me on his wings. He showed me how to cut. He showed me how to make patterns. He showed me how to do a snap. I worked 6 years with boarding machine. We was doing labels, feelers. We was doing it all, man. We was doing it big, man.
What about the money?
You said, man, the money was large. You know what I'm saying? I was just a cutter, nigga, and I was like, man, nigga, it was like this, nigga. It was like this, nigga. It was like we was making money, like, you know, like we still making money. You know what I'm saying?
Taught you well.
You know what I'm saying? I keep the dollars. You know, that's what we do. You know, and
J&D's
was the shit, man, and I'm blessed to be around my people.
How you know Scotty D?
Oh man, I met him through my cousin, man, long time ago.
Who's your cousin?
LZ Scott Jr., rest in peace. You know, he was the originator of the bootleg. He was the king bootleg. You know what I'm saying? He was the bootleg king. You know, from movies to clothes. You know what I'm saying? If it was bootleg, he had something to do with it. That's it. That's all.
How did Scotty get involved with all that?
I think Scotty met him through his little brother, Cliff, man, and they just organized their own little thing and opened up and branched out. You know what I'm saying? My cousin sold them some stocks. You know what I'm saying? They just blew up. You know what I'm saying? They had their own things in different locations. You was with Cold Crush Chris in the orange thing.
I'm talking about when we first came to the shop. We first came to the shop, it was me and Anthony came to the shop with the t-shirt. They called the little t-shirts with honey boom and all that graffiti stuff on it.
I don't remember that, man, because my mind was fogged up. You know what I'm saying? Because back then I was a rock star without a guitar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a rock star.
Yeah, I was a rock star without a guitar, man.
I had the spot in the
car wash. No, we was at the car wash.
Y'all at the car wash in Pasadena. Up in Altadena. And I was over in the valley.
Yeah, Cliff had a girl in Altadena.
Y'all bust me out 20 years later, nigga? All on camera?
On camera, 20 years later, you was right there with me then. Yeah, I was. You know what I'm saying? I was.
Hey, nigga take 20 years to snitch on a nigga, man. You gotta cut that shit out, man.
My bad. Re-strike that from the record.
Strike that from the record?
Yeah, strike that from the record, man.
Every Friday night, where was the party at?
At Chili John's, Scotty D's, and Arco gas station.
Glen Oaks and Van Nuys. Every Friday night was payday.
Wait, hold on, Scotty, man.
We sold so many sweatsuits, Cliff. Remember that time I went out of town?
Nah, fuck you. I don't even want to talk about that.
I bought you something, man.
I know. You not gonna turn that motherfucking camera off, nigga. I don't give a fuck. It was more than that.
You made more than $10,000?
I made more than that.
You made more than $10,000?
$10,000
in a week?
In a week.
Selling clothes?
Made more than that.
You selling clothes doing that?
Made more than that. I knew you weren't gonna pay me, so I had to get mine.
I got you. Oh, so you gonna wait 20 years?
Over 20 years to dry snitch on you.
Yeah. On yourself?
Yeah.
I got you.
No, I didn't say I got you. I said I got mine. Yeah, I remember when J&D Exclusive, you did the suit for Heavy D, Flavor Flav, that Gucci suit he had.
All over the video. All over the I Ain't No Joke.
Yeah.
Public Enemy.
You had me throw a A&W root beer can at my girl because you had some backstage passes to go see Bobby Brown.
Remember, we DJ Bobby Brown's birthday party.
Yeah, we went to their house out there.
Everybody would come by our shop. Blair Underwood. We was in with all the stars. All the stars wanted to do what? They wanted to be around the hottest thing going, and we was the hottest thing cracking in 1984, from all the way from 84 to 88.
After 89, I was off the screen, man, because I was off the screen, man. I had to go to rehab, man. You know, I was off location. I don't know what y'all did from 89 on out, because I was gone. You know, I caught cases fucking with them sweatsuits and everything.
We all called a case. Who was Kanye West to y'all?
Oh, that's my first cousin, man.
Back in the day, what was Kanye trying to do? He was trying to get on back then.
Yeah. He always been trying to get on.
Now he's worldwide. Now he ain't world. He all up in the universe now. He way out there.
Yeah, man. He's in the stratosphere, man. You can't fuck.
Is that lowrider out there by way of Kanye West?
It's partially, man. Partly. You know what I'm saying? Partly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He blessed me, man. You know.
You still over there?
I ain't going nowhere.
See that? Now look, y'all, we all became something after the fact of how the West was one. We was one. See, how the West was one, we were one. We were one unit. When we rolled, we all rolled together.
Exactly.
It was no bosses. It was no bosses. We just had love for each other. We even brought in people like who? Who all came through us?
Everybody.
DJ Pooh.
King T. I remember when them cats was homeless. They was sleeping in the band.
And who else shot?
And Scotty D shop in Performance. Van Nuys and Glen Orange next door to Chili John's. The Oriental. He was the coolest Oriental I ever met in my life, other than Mr. Kim from Seoul, Korea. They gave us all the Louis and the Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
Did we have that Valley 10 feet high and wide?
On the road. We had it on the road.
The Valley was like so high, but we had the Valley 10 feet high and wide.
Oh yeah, we was doing it our way in the Valley, man.
What do you love more, music or fashion? If you had to pick one right now, would you?
Ooh, because I like the visual presentation and I like the sonic presentation. But if I had to pick one, I would do music. Yeah, my family, I'm a garmento more than I'm a designer. But
I don't know what that word was, but I just didn't want to stop you.
A garmento is like the fashion district.
Like garments?
Garments, yeah. We are the garmentos. Like I got cousins that got locked up for clothing, for selling bootleg cross colors and
cross colors.
No, not for selling polos, for selling.
For creating them.
Creating and selling massive amount and driving around in BMWs. My family been rich. All my family had big houses. You know.
They open the door like the police. I don't like it. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, all my family had big houses, nice. It's so funny. I show everybody my house whenever I do a new house, and everybody's so impressed, except for my family. And I'm a garmento at the end of the day. My family made the first bootleg Louis Vuitton jogging suits because they would when they would confiscate the drugs inside the Louis Vuitton bags, they cut up the bags. My family went and would take the patches and put them on the clothes.
In New York, they had a guy named Dapper Dan who did that kind of stuff. Well, Scotty was the first one in LA to do it. And he had, all these players were dressed in all this crazy stuff, and we were trying to figure out where they get this shit. And they were like, it's this guy named Scotty D. And that was he was kind of like a legend. I didn't know him. And when I finally met him, it's when I started to connect to some of the more country rappers, people like King T. And Scotty was really the closest to DJ Aladdin, who ended up being part of my organization. And, I just kind of knew him as a serious brother. He was, wasn't a rapper, but he was always there and he was about his business.
Scotty D used to provide all official Fila, Louis Vuitton coming through with the Fila on the side, on the thingy going on.
Down.
Let me tell you something, Scotty D put it down. That's how I met DJ Pooh and King T. Was at Scotty D's Fila shop. I was here on tour and I met this guy right here named King T. and that guy right there, DJ Pooh, and I think it was in the Valley. I remember it was Honest Mysteries. I came out there with Grandmaster D and Jalil, and we was buying
Bobby Brown was with us.
And Bobby Brown was there, and we was buying up mad sweatsuits. And then me and Pooh hung out for like a month. We was located at the Universal Sheraton, and just gave him the key then on from Adam, and just gave him my room key. And every time I come back, he be there with a gang of people, with chicks hanging out. And then 3 weeks after that, DJ Pooh moved to Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, 333 Lafayette, and it was just on and cracking.
That's them right here, dude, DJ Pooh. Started at the record shop, the Fila shop, right out there in Pacoima. That's right. Doing his business.
Him and King T was on the turntables getting busy.
They ain't even like Tila. Pooh said Tila was a liar. Get rid of him, Scotty. I don't like him. Hey, Pooh. Hey, tell Clip that you and Tila, you didn't even like Tila when he came to the shop, man. Get rid of that nigga.
Hell no, I didn't like Tila when he came to the shop.
That nigga's he lied too much. Get him up out of here.
Tila, and I barely like Scotty.
But how come you don't like Tila, my brother?
Well, first of all, we had a good thing going already. He wanted to come and bust it up. And it was happening already with me and Total Control. It was me, J-Roll, Swappy D, Scotty D. You know what I'm saying? We had our crew. We was buck-weeding it up, and we had everything we needed. And here he comes.
Well, there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth.
And the story is told.
And the story is told. Enough of this shit. We need to go a little bit broader with it. We need to go worldwide. Well, I went to New York.
God damn it.
How'd you get to New York? How'd you get there? Who paid for you to go there? Who put up the money for you to get
Scotty
there?
Scotty D.
This is Scotty D. And when I got there, this man right here took me in right here. Him and his love. He took care of me like I was his brother.
Amen.
Then I started doing mixtapes with one of the homies in named Scotty D. And then Scotty D, that's how I ended up meeting King T, Fila. And then Scotty brought us all together. Me and King T were both DJs. And so we was like, well, shit, we wanted to have a little group, but we said, shit, somebody got to get on the mic. I said, well, let's have a DJ battle. Whoever wins the DJ battle, the other person got to get on the mic. And me and King T went at it on the turntables. I got him on the turntables, so he got on the mic. I'm so glad that I won, because that dude is something special, man, on the mic, man. I ain't gonna lie.
This is Scotty D's doing, because, you know, he's booking us on these shows with Roger Clayton, you know what I'm saying, and the Uncle Jam's Army. We're opening up for Real Roxanne and Beastie Boys, Ice-T, Dana Dane, all that, and we were called Total Control.
And I made up some sweatsuits before that show happened. You know, I made all of them. J-Roll, Suave, DJ Pooh, King T. I made them all. I made me a jacket for it, you know, for the crew with our name on the back, Total Control. That was our crew. Everything just fell apart. Nobody had a record, but you guys were doing shows. What were you guys' parents thinking? You guys hanging out at the shop all the time. What was that all about?
Yeah, I would never forget the time you had to come to my house and ask my mom for permission to take me up to Oakland. And you came over to the house, my grandparents' house. Moms came downstairs, and you just explained to her that, you know, this is time. You know, you wanted to, I have a talent, and you know, you want to get me out, you know, to see other things. And she started thanking you, you know. And,
my mom was like, shit, come, hurry up, take this on with you.
Let me sign. You got a piece of paper? Let me sign. I'll sign. You can have it. You can have it.
Bye.
So I called my friend at the time, still was my partner, old DJ Unknown. I said, Unknown, look, man, I got a group up here, man. You need to check him out, because I know he had a label at that time. You want to impress me? Buy a sweatsuit. I wasn't even like pressing up records. Even the Buckwheat and the King T stuff, I never really pressed it. But I still got the reels right now. I could probably put it out and do something with it, because these guys have went on to do bigger and better things. But Unknown came up there to the shop, and he grabbed King T and Pooh, and they went and was on for a while, man, like days, and they came back with this song called Payback Some Mother. That was the first song that the New Yorkers ever played on the radio.
I made my first record, Payback Some Other, Scotty had hooked something up with Roger Clayton.
Well, that was DJ Unknown.
Yeah, but Roger Clayton introduced you to DJ Unknown.
I've been knowing Unknown. I called Unknown and told him to come up there and check y'all out because y'all had something going on.
Oh, okay.
And Unknown came up there, checked y'all out. Matter of fact, he took y'all with him.
We was in the studio like the next week, and I did Payback Some Other at Track Studio somewhere in Santa Monica, and we put it out. Back then, put it out, whatever. But DJ Pooh took it when he went to go work with LL Cool J with LA Posse. He took it out to New York, and New York was spinning it. They was the first to spin it. And Marley Marl, DJ Red Alert, Mr. Magic.
It just panned out perfect.
I'm right here on Van Nuys in Pacoima, California. Right here in this gas station behind me used to be called the Arco gas station. J&D's exclusive custom sportswear $1 million spot was right here. Right up there in that corner. You see right there where it says JJ's at? Right there, that was my spot. And it was off the hook out here in Pacoima. Right behind on my shoulder, that used to be called Chili John's, the only Korean I know that didn't make Korean food. Yeah, everything was with chili pastrami's, chili cheese, dogs, and burgers and stuff. But right there in that corner, that was J&D's exclusive custom sportswear $1 million spot. We had beepers in there by way of my partner John. He came in, bought some stock in the corner. You know, he set up the beepers. We already had a mobile DJ service in there with DJ Pooh, Cold Crush Chris, King T, you know, Big Pete, myself, Scotty D. You know, we had it popping up here every Friday. LZD Van Scott, who I bought the stock from, and J&D's exclusive, him and Big John would come out here on the weekends and we split that money up, man. But this is $1 million spot right there in that corner where JJ's is at. I'm back quiet. How the West was won.